Welcome to Selenium with CHAS training session 27. In today's session, you will learn how to handle static web table in any web page with the help of Selenium WebDriver and CHAS. So what is web table? So in most of the web page you will find some sort of tables where there will be a tabular form, right? There can be some row header, and for each and every row there can be some sort of columns, and in row and column wise there will be some cell and data will be there, right? Sometimes tables, row and columns, it's not static in nature, it can increase or decrease based on the data type, right? Sometimes the size can be fixed. So web tables or data table are often used in scenario where user need to display the information in a tabular format. The data being displayed can either be static or dynamic in nature. It is nothing but a structure of HTML data where we create the structure or format with the help of table tag and TD tag. User can find some other tags along with this tag which are used during the creation time of the table. So web table in Selenium is a web element just like any other popular web elements like text boxes, radio button, checkboxes, drop down menu, etc. Web table and its contents can be accessed by using web element functions along with locator to identify the element, row or column on which the operation needed to be performed. A table consists of row and column. The table created for a web page is called web table, right? These are the important tag associated to a web table. First there will be table, so it will define the table. Then there can be table header, right? TH, which contains header information in a table. Then TR, which nothing but defines the row of the table. Then TD defines the column of the table. In the real time, there can be two type of tables available in any of the web page. It can be static in nature or dynamic web table, right? Static means the information in the table is static in nature, it will not change, right? Row and column will never change, so it will be static. Suppose in case 3 row and 2 column is there, so every time it will be 3 row and 2 column. But dynamic web table, right? The information displayed in the table is dynamic, right? Suppose the employee details, sales report. So today in the any organization employee is 1000. Tomorrow it can be 500 or 2000 or 5000 like that, right? And suppose employment details, employee salary also for a particular month it can be suppose say 5000, right, or 50,000. Next month some promotion happened, right, it can be 60,000 or some other incentive come, or taxes reduction. So it is not dynamic in nature, sorry, it is not static in nature, right? Sales report, so for a particular month sales revenue can be more, so particular month sales revenue can be lesser. So that's why, like, static means whenever data information will be static in nature, right? Suppose the student information, sometimes in school, right, the student information will not change much once they are promoted to a next grade, right? Suppose a student of the class X will not change much, right? So similar way, dynamic nature in employee details or sales report, it will can change every moment, even every minute or every second. So these are the dynamic web table. So right, record will not be fixed, even number of rows will not be fixed, number of columns may be fixed, but number of rows it can increase and decrease, right? So that's why these are the different details about the tables. Then how we will handle the table, right? That is the question, right? So whenever we will be associating a table, it will be table header, table row and table columns. Let's go to an web pages where you can find a table. So this is the web page, right, where you can see there is a table is there, tabular format, right? First one is called row, here there is no header is there, table header is there, and that one horizontal column will be called as row and vertical column will be called as a column. And so for row and every row and column there will be value associated, cell associated, right? This is called cell. So it is row 1, column 1, cell 1, right? It is row 1, column 2. It is row 2, column 1. It is row 2, column 2, right? So that's so you can understand the table structure, right? So let's try to inspect the table. Okay. Press F12 button in the keyboard. Let's try to go to the table. You can see that it is coming with table TABLE, then T body, right, then TR and then TD. So that's the different pattern, right? You can understand here. Table TH, table header, then right, T body, or sometimes header can be there, or TR and TD, right? So let's go to the Visual Studio. So this is the URL, also same URL I am passing in the whenever I want to open the Chrome browser, I am after maximizing it, right? Then let's try to get some text from the cell, right? Then how can you identify the cell? right? Suppose that particular value I want to I want to extract it, right? So definitely I can identify it with the help of XPath. So here if you want to create XPath, so you can control F and then control F here, control F, then if you press, it is starting with table, right? So if you press / table, you can see table is getting highlighted, right? Then you can go to the T body, right? Then you can go to the TR and then you can go to the TD. You can see, so that's why you can highlight it, but it is showing one of 4 element, right? Because 4 value is there, right? But if you want to identify one value, right, then how can you do it? So here table row 2 row is there, I want to get the first row data, right? So it will be, I need to give the table row as 1. So table column I did not define anything, so it is showing me 2 row. But if I define here as 2, right, so it will be give me table row 1 and column 2 value. So it will be I can identify the element uniquely, and that is my XPath, right? So let's try to create the XPath here. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, right? So this is my XPath. Now if I want to get the text, right, then how can I get it? With the help of text method available in the WebDriver, right? I can get the text here. So here you can see the return type will be string, so I can store in some string, right? So I can store in some string row 1 column 2, that is the value, right? Column 2 value. So that's why I can define the text. Similar way, if you want to store other one, right, row 2, say row 2 and column 1 value, right, row 2 column 1. So here you need to change it table row 2 and column 1. So that's why I can get it. Now if you want to print the value, you can print it with the help of console and write line method dot write line, right? Here you can define the variable name. First, so it will give you row 1 column 2 cell value. Similar way you can print the other one, right? That one, that is the variable you have defined. Now let's try to run the code and let's see whether my row 1 column 2 value is coming here. So what will be the value? Row 1 column 2 value, what is the value here? Row 1 column 2, it is second cell, so that value should be printed in the console, right? And for the second one, row 2 column 1, it should be displayed as third cell, right? So that's why I can identify each and every element and I can print the value of the corresponding cell, right? So that is the one way, right? Let's try to run the code and let's see how the value is getting displayed here in the console. So second cell and third cell, that value should be get displayed in the console. So it will try to definitely first launch the browser, it will maximize it, it will try to load the Guru 99 test write XPath table.html page. It will identify the row and column wise cell value. One is the first row and second column, and second one is the second row and first column. Then it will print the value in the console. So debugging is happening. So it might take some time for the debugging of the every page. In case there is no error, it will be fast then. So Chrome browser was started successfully, so it will launch the Chrome browser. It will load the page fully. Once the page is fully loaded, it will identify the XPath, right? And once the XPath is identified, then it will get the text and it will print out in the console, right? So you can see here now in the consoles your value should be displayed correctly. For first one, row 1 and column 2, which is now second cell value, that should be printed, and second one it is row 2 and column 1, that means the third cell value, whatever is there in the table should be displayed in the console, right? You can see here second cell, right? For row 1 column 2 it's second cell, and row 2 column 1 it is third cell. So that's why I can print out the value, right? Now if you want to change the anything, right, suppose row 2 column 2 value, right, here row 2 column 2 value, so here you need to change it, right, row 2 column 2, so it will be fourth cell. Okay, So it will be displayed. Now next thing is that definitely I can print the value for cell wise. Then now how can I get to know that how many row or column is available for that particular table, right? So for the row, how can you get the row here? Let's close it and let's close the close one. Now go to the olive element. So with the help of that tr, right, you can see that you can get the number of row. The total number of value is coming as 1 and 2. If you go mouse over, you can see this is one row and this is one row. So this is giving you row, right? So that is the expert for getting the row, right? So that is the expert for getting the row. You can see that is the expert for getting the row, right? It is giving me the total number of row. It is giving me total number of row as 2, right? So with that I can get the row. Okay. So let's try to identify the element. Diver dot. Okay. So use that one. Diver dot find. Here you can change the expert, right? So it will give you total number of rows available. Now if you get the count, right, how many rows available, you need to use count method, right? Dot count. Okay. Driver dot find not it is not find element, it should be find elements, because it will be give you multiple elements, right? That is the reason count was not coming. So you can get the count now. So if you remember that whenever you want to get the count, it will be find elements. It will give you the multiple elements. So what is the return type of the count? So we need to store in some, right, integer variable, right? Okay, so that's why I need to get the count. So I'll be storing in some integer row count. Okay. Now see, array message is gone. Now if you want to print that value, right, how many rows is there, you can get it. So console dot, suppose here you can, if you can print out something, total row count in the table R, right? You can print out, you can concatenate it, so that will be getting added. So here it will be 2 only, so it will be added as a 2, right? So here value will be 2, total number of count. Now next thing is that if you want to get the count of column, right? So here instead of row I can use that column count, COL. Then how can you get the count, right, of the column? So here you already getting the row, right? So for any row you can get the count, right? So either I can use row number 1 or 2, anything, and then I can give slash, and then here it will be TD. So you can see that for first row how many column is there, right? You can see 2. So for second row the same column should be there in the table. Okay, that's why either you can give it 1 or 2 also. So for every row column number is same, right? So you can see column number is 2 only. So that's why you can get the column. So you can change the count here, expert here for the column. And similar way I can get the count and I can store in the variable called column count variable, integer variable. So that's why I can print it out. So here count is also 2. So total column count in the table are at this. So it will give me 2. So I can get any number of row and column cell value with after identifying the element with the help of table body, table row, and table columns. So I can go to the cell directly. I can get the text. And definitely text is a string, so I can store in the strings and then I can print in the console. And if I want to get the total number of row count and column count in the tables, right, I can identify the table row and I can get the count, I can store in integer variable and I can print it out. Similar for the column one, so I need to go to any row, specific row, and in specific row the column will be there, so I can use TD column then, right, for the columns. Then I can print it out with the help of count method, right. So let's see and how it is behaving now. So it will similar way, it will try to launch the Chrome browser, it will maximize the browser, it will pass the URL for the guru99.com page, whatever we are using. It will take the identify row 1, column 2, row 2, column 2, and it will get the text. It will also identify how many row and column is there in the tables, and it will print out the value of the row and column count. So that are the different operations we can perform. So it is launching the page, it is loading the page fully. After that, you will get the details, right? Cell details, whatever you want to print out in the consoles, and it will give me also the total number of row and counts available in the cell and in the table, right? How many row and count? It will depend on row and is 2 and column is also 2. So if you go to the console, you can see the value will be printed out, right? You can see here, right? Second cell for row 1, column 2, second cell, and row 2, column 2, its fourth cell. The value is printing here. Total number of row count in the table are 2, total number of column count in the table are 2. So that's why I can get the number of row and column in the table, and definitely any specific cell value, right? I can get it. Let's comment out whole thing. Okay. Now next thing is that then how in a single shot I can get, right, all the row value, right, row wise value as well as all the column wise value and as well as all the same value in a single shot, right? Then how can I get it? So for that I need to use some for enhanced for loop or for each loop or maybe normal for loop, right, where I need to first inspect the get the tables, right? So I will be creating a IWave element for the table only. So how can I identify the table? So you need to remove the row and column. So that is the table. It is giving you full table view, right? So that XPath is giving you full table view. So I will be creating a IWave element here. IWave element, wave element, which is nothing. First I will take the XPath of table. I will creating the variable. So driver dot find element by dot XPath. So XPath I am giving it table slash header, right, table body. So that's why I am creating the table, right, web element for the table, right. Then now I want to get all the rows, right. First I want to get all the rows with the help of tables variable. Then how can you get the rows? It is tr, tag name is starting with tr, right. So I can identify all the elements, right, with the help of tag name called tr. So here I will be creating a variable, suppose say all rows equal to so here instead of find element it will find elements, because I want to get all the row, right. Here instead of by XPath I will be with the help of tag name, right. And what is the tag name? Tag name is tr. With the help of that tag name I can identify all the elements, which is nothing but the all rows. So it will give me list of web element, right, because we are using find elements. You can see the find element. So return type will be I web element, and I can store all the value in I list with the help of ch, right. So I will be storing all the variable in the I list, and definitely return type will be web element, right. So it will be I wave element. So that's why I can store them. You can see. So I list I wave element, and this is my variable. Now you can see all are green. So with the help of tag name I can get rows, right. You can see this is the I list. I am storing it all the row wise data, right. So this is the row wise data I can get instead of cell wise, where I am providing the row and column and I am providing the reference. I can get all the data wherever is present in the row, right, row wise, right. Then okay, then we can print the data. So where we can use for each loop. So for each, you can see. So here same way, if I was using for each loop, so I need to first define the return type. I need to create a new variable, suppose say rows, this is the variable, and you need to give the in sign, and then you need to give the old variable. So that is the syntax of for loop. No need to worry, I will cover everything whenever I will be starting the videos for C hash details. Then you can print out, right? So it will be console dot write line, and this variable, new variable, I can print it. So that will give me the value row wise. Okay. So what I am doing, first I am identifying the table, right? So it is the table till the body of the table, right? This is giving me complete table, right? This is, you can see whole table is getting highlighted. Now with the help of table variable, right, I will be getting all the row. Okay. So here I need to give the table reference, right? It will, instead of driver, I need to give it the table variable. Sorry, it is not the driver, it will be giving the table variable, from where I am, with the help of tag name, I am getting all the rows. Otherwise it will not be printed out, right? With the help of table variable and with the help of tag name, I am getting all the rows, and then with the help of for each loop, I am printing all the rows. So for loop syntax is nothing, so you need to use for each loop and new variable and in the old variable, and return type should be same as the old variable, right? So that's why you can print it out, and now you can print out all the rows. Now let's see, let's start, and let's see whether the row wise data is getting displayed or not. So instead of a cell, I can get the value row wise. So that's why, that is the one of the advantage, right? You can get all the values row wise. You no need to go for a particular cell, you no need to identify with the help of row number, column number. Instead of that, you can get the value row wise. So first you need to identify the tables, then with the help of table in reference, you need to, with the help of tag name, tag name, you can get all the rows, and with the help of for each loop, you can print out everything. Now go to the console, you can see all the row wise details will be printed here in the console. So once the page is fully loaded, it will print you row wise detail in the console. So that is the benefit, right? Instead of identifying the row and column value, and instead of cell value, I can directly access the row wise value from a table, web table or HTML table. So that is the another advantage or another functionality is available. You can see. Okay. Some error is coming. Rows console, sorry, it will be not the row dot text. So that is the reason error message is coming. It cannot able to identify the rows. So it will be rows dot text. Okay, that is the reason it is throwing the error. So it will be rows dot text, because we are printing the text value only, right? We want to get the text value. So it will be row dot text. Now it will be printing you the row dot text value. Okay. So definitely we are getting the text value for each and every row. So that will be, that is the reason whenever you want to print the value in the console, you need to use text method, call method for all the rows wise data. So it will again load the page. Once the page is fully loaded, it will identify the row first tables, and once the table is identified, it will try to get all the details of the row wise. Then it will print the text of the row wise value in the console. So that's why in case of the debug your script, in case you are seeing that some problem is there, it is not printing out, definitely you can do some analysis and definitely you can fix your code, right? So unless I mean you are debugging more and more thing, right, you will not finding the where the problem is there, right? So if you do the debugging, then you will get more and more knowledge, right? In case first time your script can fail and you will not get the internet thing, but you can get to know that what is the problem is coming, and you can debug it, right, step by step. You can see that now row wise data is coming. For the first row, first cell, second cell, third cell and fourth cell based on the table, right? You can see first cell, second cell, it is there, and second row, third cell and fourth cell. So that's why it is being displayed in the console, right? Now I already got the data for the row wise, right? Now I want to get the data cell wise. So how can you do it, right? So I already use the for loop where for each loop where I can get the rows, right? Now I need to use similar way, I need to use an I list where instead of row wise I will be getting the data column wise, right. So here I can give the value as called cells, or instead of rows, right, cell, okay, cells. Here instead of table reference I need to take all rows reference, because it is giving me the row, and then here I can give the TD reference, right. So you can see here, find elements all rows, okay, no, not the rows here, because we have used new variable, right. So that new variable we need to use it, because we are using in the same for each loop, right. Now you can see that message gone. So what we need to do, definitely we are first going to the tables, right, and then we are going to the rows. So we are highlighting the rows, but here we have used new for each loop, and where we have given new variable name rows. So that is the reason with that rows value I am trying to identify all the row column value or cell value, right, which is nothing, the tag name is TD. So it's TD, right, tag name is TD. You can see this is the TD. Under TR there is a 2 TD, right. So we'll be using tag name as TD, and we are storing in the cells. Definitely it will give you list of I web element, and it will be storing in the I list interface. So similar way, now also I need to create one more inner for each loop, because I want to go row and then cell. So here I will be going to the row, and here I will be going to the column wise, and then I am printing the cell value. So here I can give one more new variable called cell, and I need to define the old one, right. So this return type will be still same, okay. Then here what I need to do, I need to print out same way, I need to print out cell.text. So it will give me the cell wise text. Instead of row wise text, it will print me all cell wise text. So everything will be in line by line. So it will print me all the 4 cell value one by one. Okay. So first what I am doing, I am navigating to the URL. I am identifying the tables with the help of table and table header, right, table body. So it is giving me the full row, full table view. After that I am using the table reference, and then I want to find out all the element where tag name is TR, means table row, right, table row, okay. Then if I identified all the rows, then I will be trying to use a for each loop where I can print out all the rows value. Then I want to get the cells, right. So I will be taking the new rows reference from the for each loop, and I want to find out all the element with the help of TD, because for row there will be table details, right, table column. Then I am printing, I am taking in the cells variables, which is I am storing in the I list, and which is type is return type is web element. Then again I am using an internal for each loop, because I want to iterate 2 loop, right. First is the row, and then in the second column. For each and every row there will be column. So that's why I can get the value, right. So it is like a kind of instead of 2-dimensional matrix, right, row and column, okay. So after that again a new variable I am declaring here, and return type is I element, and print out the new cell text value. So that's why I can get the value of each and every cell in the table. So it will first will giving me the result called row 1 column 1, then row 1 column 2, row 2 column 1, row 2 column 2. So that's the different value it will print it in the console. So that's why I can either get the table row, table column, either we can get the cell wise value, and if I want to get the row wise value or all the cell value in single shot, I can need to use the for each loop or the for loop, right. So if I want to get the row only, so I can use only one for each loop or the for loop. If I want to get the cell wise value in for all the cells, I need to use 2 for loop. One will be the outer for loop, which will go as per the row, and inner for loop which will go as per the column, or so then I can get the cell value, right. So you can see all the cell value will be displayed here, printed here in different row. So for row 1, all the column 1 and column 2 will be displayed. Again for the row 2, column 1 and column 2 will be displayed. You can see first cell, second cell, third cell, and fourth cell, right. So first cell and second cell is nothing but the value of the row 1, and here second cell and third cell and fourth cell is nothing but the value of the column row 2, okay. So that's why we can deal with the table, right. So first we need to identify the table and table body. With that table identified, then I can go to the rows and I can go to the column, and then with the cell, right? So sometimes, right, tables, I mean content can be static, sometimes it can be dynamic. So I'll be creating one more video for how to handle the dynamic web element where, right, the size is not fixed, right, and it can vary during the runtime. Okay, so that's all from today's session. Thank you.